Hi friends, Allison here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have a scrapbook layout process to share with you. Just the scrapbook layout process. I didn't do a design with me process because I knew that this video would be a little bit longer than my other ones because I'm sharing with you essentially 3 scrapbook layouts today. The first one is the one that I'm working on right now. It is a 12 by 12 scrapbook layout. And then the other one is actually an insert, and it measures roughly 8 by 11.5 inches. And I show you the process for both sides of that insert. So to start, I am beginning to work on my 12 by 12 scrapbook layout. I cut the overlay that you see in the background, the brown paper, with my Cricut. It is actually a close to my heart image that I cut, the striped background. And all the products that I'm using today are actually close to my heart as well. I layered that overlay just on plain white cardstock and then cut the word home, skipping the O but adding a maple leaf in where the O would be, and then decorating over that image. So the big thing about this layout when I sat down to design it and figure it out in my head is that I wanted to fit multiple pictures into one layout or 2 layouts at the most. And the way that I come up with that is actually creating a accordion fold mini album just using cardstock and adding my photos to it. So there are I think 6 photos in this accordion little mini album, and then on the insert that I'll be creating later on in this video, there is another mini album with more 3x4 pictures in it. I split the 2 mini albums up according to the picture's orientation. So if they were landscape, I put them in one pile, and if they were portrait, I put them in another pile. So here is my landscape photos. There were 4 on the front and another 2 on the back. So there were 6 photos on this page. And I love this trick for keeping the layout from feeling too cluttered and overwhelming by having so many pictures glued directly to the layout base. I love the idea of having a little mini album. First of all, because it's interactive, and secondly, you can fit so many more pictures onto a layout in a smaller space. So you're saving room, making room for other things to be put on the page, and it's just fun to look at. And it was fun to make. So I decorated the very front portion of that little mini album. I put the words True North on it along with a little polar bear. And I replaced the O in North with another maple leaf. And now I'm just working on putting together some more maple leaves to put over the letter M in the word home. So you might be thinking that this layout is a patriotic Canada Day layout. Because the color scheme is red and white with some brown and mint thrown in for good measure, you would be right in thinking that it was a Canada Day layout, but it actually isn't. This layout is about going to see the RCMP musical ride. Last summer in 2019, they came to our town, and this is the story about that event. So when I was designing this layout, I went to the image library and typed in Canada and pulled out all of the images that I thought would work with this layout that had to do with or have to do with my home country, especially, well, my home country. So I've got the moose, I have some florals, the True North, polar bear, just stuff that's classically Canadian, basically. I'm putting together the moose right now. I've used him before on another layout, which actually was a Canada Day layout. And I thought he was super duper cute, so I'm using him again. And of course, he's got a little maple leaf on his Mountie hat. And the Mountie hat works because it is about the RCMP. So he is going to go over top of the H, and then I'm going to glue the word Canada over top of my little moose. And then I'm going to pull out some LE Studio Alphas and make the word O from those. I chose these alphas because I wanted to pull in some more white to this corner of the layout, and it needed a little bit of blue to pull in the rest of the mint and blue that is, well, it's basically mint, that is on the rest of this layout. The polar bear was cut from mint cardstock, and because the bottom right hand corner of this layout didn't have any of that minty tealy color, I dove into my stash and pulled out some older, close to my heart, like glitter dots, and sprinkled them around the flower over top of the E. So now there is a little bit of mint in all four corners of this layout. It just occurred to me, this layout is very much like a grid type layout, but instead of creating squares with paper, I used letters to create those boxes for a grid layout. That's kind of cool. It's a neat technique to try in your own crafting if you feel so inclined to. I decided I wanted to add some DIY phrase stickers to this layout as well. So down over the letter M, I stamped the word strong for Alberta Strong. I just used white cardstock and black ink to do that, and then I stamped one of the phrases from our national anthem to go over top of Canada. And I think with that, I'm getting close to being done the 12 by 12 layout. I open up the little mini album and put some Tim Holtz stickers over the photos inside the little mini album just to kind of dress them up a little bit too. And then later on, in just a little bit here, I actually decide to add a little bit of journaling as well. And because I didn't feel like there was really very much space in the rest of this layout to add journaling, I decided to write it out on white cardstock, trim it into strips, and then actually adhere it over one of my pictures. So most of it is hidden, but I'm actually okay with that. I think it's a really neat focal point inside the mini album. And you can still, you know that it's more pictures of the musical ride, so I'm not really losing anything by covering up the photo, and you can still see that there are images behind the journaling. And I actually really like it. I think it's so super neat. I think I will probably do this again in the future if I feel like there isn't enough room for journaling on a layout. And I can say right now as well, I will be doing accordion fold mini albums again on future projects. So that's it for the 12 by 12 scrapbook layout. Now we're moving into the insert. So when I was searching for Canada images and icons in my Cricut image library, I came across this half maple leaf. The other half of where the maple leaf would have been, I think said True North Strong, or True North, something along those lines anyways. I was able to hide that portion of the cut file and just cut the maple leaf. And as soon as I saw it, my idea right away, aside from adding my pictures, was to fill both sides of the maple leaf with a ton of journaling and writing. I was just showing you there a moment ago my little eraser. It's like a gum eraser, and it is perfect for removing adhesive on your layouts that you don't want there. So when I was gluing my little accordion fold mini album to the maple leaf, I put the adhesive too far down so it would stick to any kind of paper or something behind it. So I took my little eraser and rubbed off the adhesive that I didn't want there, and it's an amazing tool. So if you don't have one, I highly recommend getting one. It also removes your liquid glue if it's in places that you don't want it either, because we know if we get a little bit too much glue that it kind of squishes out and then leaves sort of a glossy shine behind. It works well to get rid of that as well. When I was putting the overlay down onto my 12 by 12 layout, that's exactly what happened. Some of the glue squished out, and I had to move it around a little bit to make sure I got it straight, and it saved the day and got rid of the adhesive, so it looks better. So I'm doing the same thing on my accordion fold album as I did on the 12 by 12 layout. I created a little bit of a title page, so to speak. I put RCMP on the front of it and then some arrows down at the bottom. Later on, I will go and stamp Musical Ride in black ink and then trim it into a phrase sticker and put it over top of RCMP, so it reads RCMP Musical Ride. Right now, I am just marking out lines in the background of my maple leaf for my journaling. I did this, okay, so I had to do this over a second time. I started with one maple leaf, started writing my journaling, and then realized the points furthest out I had totally missed. And I was just sticking to the very inside of the cut file. So I had to cut it a second time. So I edited a big chunk of this video out because of my little boo-boo. And so to get around that and to be a little smarter about it the second time around, I only did the lines in chunks and my journaling in chunks, so I would make sure I didn't miss any lines, because I didn't want there to be too much white space, if that makes sense, in the background. So right now I am adding some more Tim Holtz phrase stickers inside this accordion fold album. So there are 4 pictures on this page as well. So in total, between both pages, I included a whopping 10 3x4 photos, which is pretty awesome possum if you ask me. So that's the front page, or the facing page of my little insert, and on the back side I needed to, I'm considering this page sort of like a parentheses. My kids and I went to see the Musical Ride. We had so much fun. Here I'm just showing you how I put the glimmer paste on the polar bear. I'm doing the same thing here on the letter A, just to tie everything together, because even though this layout technically isn't a double page scrapbook layout, in a way it is. So I used all the same colors, I used all the same icons between both pages, front and back, and the same colors as well, just to make sure everything was cohesive. So like I was saying, this page is basically a parentheses. My daughters and I met up with a friend and her kids at the Musical Ride. My husband was home. He could have come with us, but he was sick. And so this page is just about how we missed him and he missed this event. But I tried making it like better for him because he was sick and couldn't come, by sending lots of pictures and video by text so that he at least could see a part of it as well. That's basically what the journaling all says on that side of the page. And I did this side of the page the same as I did the front. If I did all my lines using my pencil and straight edge ruler and then tried writing the journaling, I would forget that the outermost points also required journaling as well. So I just broke it into chunks. And you'll see that as the video goes on that it's broken down into like blocks, basically. I had toyed with adding my lines using my journaling pen underneath the journaling, but I didn't want the page to feel too full. I think with just the journaling and no lines underneath it, it's perfect. You know that the writing is there, but it doesn't overtake the insert, and the title on both sides of the page still stands out and pops, so nothing gets missed or drowned out or anything like that. Well, this pretty well brings me to the end of my video. I am adding just a few more glitter dots, glitter gems. I will be also adding my date to the 12 by 12 scrapbook layout. I actually add the date to this page as well, the insert. Here is my little subtitle. I'm adding the date, and with that, this layout is done. I hope my layout inspired you today in one way or another. I also hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you give this video a thumbs up and a like. Leave a comment if you drop by. Let me know what you think of this layout or the insert, and if you would do anything like this ever in your regular scrapbooking. If you'd like to see more videos like this one, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the little bell so that you are notified every time I post a new video. Close-ups are coming up. I will see you again very soon in the next video. Bye guys.